My relationship with David Toma started back in New Jersey on the ball field in Clark, New Jersey. I was the opposing pitcher with his son, Jimmy Toma, and David happened to be there to be supporting his son and Jimmy and I there was a summer league, and this was during like college, so summer league college, like this was what a blessing because when I was pitching the game at the end of the game, I I was needed to be hydrated with I needed water, and my energy went towards David had these sunglasses on like Hollywood or something, these real dark glasses. His dad and you usually don't go to the opposing team to get water, but I didn't have water. I just felt drawn over there, and I said, "Hey, do you guys have any water at all?" And he goes, "Sure." He goes, "Here, let me give you a cup, son. Here's a cup of water." And he called me son, and I knew there was a connection with him when I told him what I did. I was going to college, and then he gave me information where to contact him because he's in the public eye. A television series based on his life, and you'll see on Toma and Beretta was based on his life. Robert Blake played his life with the bird on his shoulder, and Toma, with his name and everything, Tony Masante played his life. So he was already in that arena, and I was just drawn with the energy, and we had this connection where we got together at the Howard Johnson's, and that's where our relationship, where I would mediate for him about, because he was a number one motivational speaker in the country in 1980, and with Lordley and Dame, and I was a promoter, and I would bring him out to my university, to James Madison University in Virginia while I was there, and he was an inspiration to me. Even with Jimmy on the thing, he wanted me to play tennis with Jimmy, and I took my shirt off, and Jimmy goes, "What are you taking steroids?" No, I never took steroids. I worked out 3 hours. I worked out naturally. I didn't use any steroids because I really built up after I met David. He was a motivational what you needed to get going with my sports career, because he was a ball player himself that was going to play with the New York Yankees. He thought, as a Marine, as a ball player, you see his life story, and it'll be on the website and everything with David if they choose to. And we had a special relationship for 50 years now, probably going on 60 years, because I was in my 18, 19 at the time, 20, during my college years. So right after high school into college, my freshman year, we met in the summer league. And that was a pivotal point in my life of inspiration as this number one motivational speaker. We were inspiring each other, and because he lost his son, and I became a son to him. And the family members knew. His three daughters were in love with me because the way I talked to them about their lives, and about, like, I would talk about snowmen, about, I would talk about things in the world. Like, I would talk things outside of what they were used to spiritually, something more uplifting, and with humor, and cut it with humor and laughter. And I think that's what, and then same with his son. I had him in stitch because he goes, when we played tennis, David wanted me to meet with him. And then the other thing is that really got really interesting is that David and I would meet at the Howard Johnson's every time I would be come back from college and everything, and then we would speak and everything when I was at the college, and I'd have his picture on there from the show with his name, David Toma. So that's what gravitated with David and I, that we spoke on family matters, world matters, of his speaking and his personal life, with what he went through in his own family with drugs and alcohol, and you'll see his life story. But he was the inspiration. Like, he'd go, "What do you do for fun?" And I go, "Well, I'm helping, on this particular situation. I took care of my sister Carol. I was in the entertainment world where I was a model, and he said that's a good way, a fashion model and a commercial model. And my sister was a fashion model. I was going to do a with ABC. I was doing a show like Regis and Kathy Lee Gifford or Regis and Joy Filman at the time, which I was with them in New York. They got very jealous of me because I was the young upcoming host that they were. When I came into the studios, they got really jealous and envious that there's a young upcoming, we could be threatened with our position at live with Regis and Kathy Lee Gifford. And I was with Kathy Lee Gifford in New York, Frank Gifford's wife, and she saw my presence and everything. And so I had many experience in the entertainment world. David wanted me to go to acting school and to Lee Strasberg. He goes, "Hey, why don't you just take a chance?" And we're at the Howard Johnson's. He goes, "You need some act. Why don't you get some acting under your belt?" And I was naturally the way I was, and I didn't think I need acting. And he was testing me out. So I go, okay. I walked in to Lee Strasberg, and he was in California, but his daughter was there, Susan, or yeah, his daughter Susan was taking care, or it could have been his wife. I have to find out. I think it was his wife because she was in the series with Toma. I didn't know that. Susan Strasberg, if you look at it, she was involved with his television series. I guess that's why he wanted to see how serious I was to get in the entertainment field. So I told him I went there, and I went in. You wouldn't believe it, but I was gifted with these. You won't believe it. And I won't forget it when I went for the interview, and she said to me, "Oh well, I went in with these cowboy leather pants. They were leather and suede, and they're like $300 pair of things that was given to me as a gift. And I thought I'd go in something different. I felt, to be interviewed, I'm going to go to Lee Strasberg. Well, when Susan says to me, "You're in college," and she goes, "Well, we'll contact you like in a couple of years and see how you're coming along." And I asked for Lee, and I went up in her office. And when she got a hold of me, because she's been in the field, she contacted me 2 weeks later, not 2 years, and asked me to come to the acting school while I was at James Madison University. My family says he's at the college. He's like in his junior year. He's going to be correct. No, we want him to come to the school. We're very interested in him coming. So the reason I'm saying this, David said to me, "Well, they need you. You don't need them because you're a natural." And I was shocked of that. It's like, why did he test me out to go to an acting school when he even asked me? He said, "You're a natural. Can you read lines and stuff like that?" I said, "I prefer not to. I'd rather just be who I am in the moment. I want to be authentic with people." That's why the television shows were interested to me at ABC in New York, because I wanted to do a brother and sister like Donnie and Marie Osmond in the entertainment world. But the entertainment world wasn't a clean slate. And I had this healing ability that jumped out, and David knew that. But getting back to it, when I told David, he goes, "Well, what do you do for fun?" Because I pushed very hard when I was young to get things going for the future. And he would say he's way ahead of his time. He's like a visionary. I mean, he said to my sister at the table, I brought her in to meet with David, and he says, "Well, your parents got you ready for Hollywood. I mean, you guys have this look for Hollywood that you're going to get really, you're going to get a lot of offers. So I got to get you ready. But you don't need the acting school and all that." And I said, "Well, I'm happy to do it after college, whatever." He says, "Don't have to do that." And he said, when you getting out of college?" And I said, "I'm getting out a semester earlier. I'm going to graduate earlier." "Oh, whoa, whoa, I didn't know that." And then he started telling me, I thought he's getting me ready for some type of role or something in the series and what he was doing in his projects. He said, "I have you in my projects." And he came to my home to meet my parents, and said to me, "How much would you like to make per year?" And I said, "I have no idea." So he wanted to see what background I was from with my parents, where I grew up in Linden, New Jersey. And I'm from Madison, where I came to Hawaii on my own. Just so you know, I was guided here in the Hawaiian Islands on Maui. I'm here live on Maui, and for 32 years. And so getting back to it, when I was also in New York, I was with when David said that to me, I got out and I had offers. And he goes, well, nobody gets a job when you get out of college. I says, David, I got 3 offers. What do you got? He wasn't ready for me. And he's like, oh, because in the entertainment world, you have a lot of disappointments and stuff. So, but anyway, so I went on my own to do that. I would meet with him at Howard Johnson's, and we were mediators for each other. He was an inspiration to me. I was an inspiration to him. But I was I mentored him. He mentored me, believe it or not. Now, we have a difference in age now. He has his 90th birthday right now. So we have a difference of like 24 years, from each other, but we're like spiritual brothers. He'll always say, I love you. That's his main thing in the world, to tell people that he loves them, like a father figure, like a son, a brother. And that's why I play those roles with them, would be a brother, the brother, and then son, father, like a father son type thing. But I always looked at him more as an equal to what he did in the world, what I was brought in to do with the healing and to help humanity, and that was more important to me. But yeah, he's a real inspiration. At 90, he's even inspiring people. He gets calls from around the world, 40 to 50 a day. And then I call to inspire him to take care of himself. And my brother Michael in Boston is a world-renowned doctor. You'll see him on my website, Dr. Michael Hollick. He's in contact with him to support him during this time period where he needs support, during trials that he's going through. Someone being 90, it's like George Burns. If you know anybody in the entertainment field, I mean, it's amazing. He doesn't look 90. He doesn't act like 90. He may act like he's 7. He's a young whippersnapper, like in his 70s. People can't believe that he's 90 years young. I call him young, but sharp as a tack, and that tells you something. Like Betty White did. She just kept working. That's what he did, David. Betty White was doing the shows with they couldn't care less. When they got older, they did a show where the elders can do what they want, and everyone supports them, because they don't care anymore. They just let things ride. So anyway, that was my relationship with David Toma. You can look it up on the website. It'll be here in information. We have a relationship of 60 years together, just so you know, and my family. And we continued our relationship. He would check in with me, as I was doing it on my own. He really wanted me to. He said, nobody helped me. I'm like, well, but it's nice to know people, but it's true. You have to love yourself and move forward and get the opportunities and the auditions. Getting back to David, for 60 years is a long time to have a friendship where I'm like a family member to him, a son, his 3 daughters, his son, and they all have these families and everything now, and we're still in contact with each other. Every week I talk to him for months now, since, and any time that when he's available or I'm available, we're there to inspire each other, to uplift each other. I always say to him, well, golden roses to your heart and everyone you touch. And I say that to people in the world. So we're discussing regards to me being a bodyguard for David, because that's what I was. My spiritual mom said, you were like a bodyguard for him, and you're very good for each other. And I was his driver, going into New York. He came to my family like 7, 8 o'clock at night. 7 o'clock, we were 8 in Sardis in New York. And they said, hey, I want them to meet these producers and directors and stuff for a movie and projects I'm working on. And I'm at the table. Well, at first he said to me, oh, I want you to just wait out here. Oh yeah, come on in with me. He had it all planned. He goes, parking the car and everything. He goes, oh, why don't you come in with me? Well, he wanted these people to surprise him that, what he had in mind for projects in the entertainment world with movies and television. You know what I mean? So I was at the Sardi's. It's known all around the world on Broadway. Off, all the film stars come in, all the people in the movie world, television world, you would see at Sardi's. Every entertainer you can think of or movie star is posted in that restaurant. That's where they meet and make these offers to people that are coming up in the entertainment world. And so I was invited in and at the table. And like I said, I had offers and stuff like that, the entertainment in that way at Sardi's with these filmmakers and directors and investors. And so they wanted to see what David was seeing. That was a natural, and they wanted to see where they could put me in on projects. So, but it was a gift to be able to find out if I should go in that direction. And so, yeah, my relationship with David, we would go places, and then we would stop off on the way back or something during the day when I was in New York at NBC with him. He wanted me with Tom Snyder. And there we can look up Tom Snyder is like the late show, like Johnny Carson. Like that's Tom Snyder. You can look him up. And he was doing something in there, and I had to go undercover with him. Not, I would drive in with his car with Toma on it in the nighttime. That was fine. But during the day, because he was known all over the world as for what he did, we went in like undercover with a regular car. So nobody would recognize his car, would say his name Toma on there from the television show. It was a Cadillac and it was a 4-door, and I'd be driving it. That's how I was the bodyguard, because I was an athlete. He was an athlete. And, I was his protector, and he was my protector in a way. In the motivation of when we'd speak to each other, we were there with laughter and joy and not everybody's problems. We would be able to sidetrack that. And so when I did go, the one at NBC there with Tom Snyder, I got out of the car, and he gave me his wallet and everything, all his ID and everything, because he had to meet with these people that what he was up to. He had something in mind with projects, and again with me at NBC. So and then from there, when we would stop off at one of the restaurants, people would recognize him and I, and they would say they'd all recognize him when we went in to have lunch. And same with Howard Johnson's and everything. But this particular thing coming out of New York was, a celebration of, wow, this was a successful meeting. Whatever they had in mind, they were going forward with it. I met with, people at NBC. Let's put it that way. So, and these were people that wanted to put projects together with David at the time. So, that the talk show with Tom Snyder, he was on his talk show, so he knew Tom Snyder, but he was there to, quietly put something together with the people for these films to come forward and to help bring the right people in, what he wanted to do, just like his show Tom and Beretta. But anyway, our relationship was it continues, and I'm here live on Maui, and I communicate with David every other day or every week to see how he's coming along and his family, and support with him his grandchildren at 90, and all his grandchildren and his family members and his wife, and but him especially. When we speak to one another, it's like there's a presence around each other that he says, you're an incredible counselor. He supports what I do to help people here on Maui globally, and understands what I'm doing to help also as a humanitarian. And you'll see everything about him on the website, where he was awarded for all his work as a humanitarian. for the for many. You'll see on the website. And I really appreciate having this time here to talk about David. And we send our great love to him and the golden roses to his heart. That this is a surprise video for him to see, and to see all the lives he's touched, millions of people, like 40 million people in his career of 15,000 lectures. And so that was someone that, saw inspiration of what I can do to be of service and help humanity with healing, and also support him in his journey. While he was going through that, I was supporting him and calling him. He said, "Keep calling me. It's helping me. I talk to all these people around the world, but I mean, I want to talk with you because you inspire me. I'm inspiring people globally and the kids and all, but you're naturally high and I am. So I want to talk to you and be uplifted." And so we uplifted one another and helped each other and our families, and globally here. We just send our blessings here with the golden solar angels and the diamonds of love to his heart and everyone he touches, and the golden roses to his heart and everyone he touches. And same for everyone else. Live on Maui with Valentine and the Golden Suns and Thomas Valentine Hollick live here to David Toma. What a blessing to be with you, brother, and continue to.